actually. The Netcuve racing car, Michael Desmail and Ulrich Amado sharing that car here this weekend. We've got the GP racing team with a couple of cars, 98 and 89. Chazelle Technology with Mark Jacob and Gianni Schiabarassi. Luca de Grange and Frédéric de Brabant are sharing one of the Alpines as well. Lovely little Alpine A110 Cup cars. Very quick in a straight line. They've got a third car as well, actually, the number 19, which is Benoit Marion, Olivier Martinez and Julien Bounet. Just making its way out as well is what I believe to be one of the most unique cars here this entire weekend. We've got Jimmy Luminier and Christophe Deruneau. I'm going to have to speak to our French commentator about how to pronounce that one. I do apologise, everybody. But still, Jimmy and Christophe are sharing a Renault RS01, which was basically a prototype GT3 car built by Renault to compete against the likes of the Audi R8s, your Lamborghini Huracans, and many other GT3 machinery that can be bought from manufacturers. A couple of Porsches on screen right now, the number 29 Netcuve racing car and the 89, which is the GP racing team car. That's shared by Laurent Thiers, Anthony Beltoise and Cyril Saleo. The Vortex coming past the commentary box for the first time at full chat. It's such a low revving thunderstorm of a car. I believe it's based on a Chevy LS V8 engine, an engine widely used in many sort of custom built cars, whether they are built for racing or whether they're built for, well, anything, to be honest, even down to drifting. You know, it's a very popular engine. You can see the Vortex on screen now. A really, really interesting looking car. I believe it's a Spanish manufacturer, and the two Gomez brothers are the owners or the creators of Vortex, obviously racing the car to help promote it and its capabilities. I must admit, it's a very strange looking machine, to say the least, but certainly an exciting one. Breaks the mold a little bit on usual cars. You can see that you can almost look through the rear arches. It's got a very prototype-like body, but is still classed as a GT car. The Renault RS01 making an amazing noise as well down the start-finish straight. So let's have a look at the drivers that are in the car. So we've got Daniel Wajcinski, currently in the number 17 car in one of the Porsches. That's the RR Racing by Race Activity Porsche. The big McDonald's logos down the side. Oh, and we've got a red flag straight off the bat. So we've got a car off somewhere. And this is where it happened. That is the number 10 Mirage Racing Porsche around. And that's going to get beached in the gravel with the rears. Oh, dearie me. And that is right near the exit of the corner. Down at turn 2. Sorry, that'll be down at turn 4, actually. I apologise. Turns 4 and 5, that is. So the number 10 Porsche, that is. Car number 10. Mirage Racing, that's shared by Thibaut Caray, Jean-Jacques Ardilly and Lionel Rigaud. And it was Lionel Rigaud, I should say, that was behind the wheel at the time of that spin. Just an innocent mistake, though, on the way into turn 4. Back end of the car overtook the front. And that was not to plan by any stretch of the imagination. So red flag's waved, and we will have to just remain on standby until they recover the car and get it back out to at least the pit lane or the circuit. Hopefully it won't be long to recover that. There is the Vortex sat in the pit lane. I can hear them starting to start them up and well, rev them up and get them prepared again. So the red one of the three is the number 20, and then there's the two orange and black cars. Different designs on each of them as well, different liveries. So you can still tell them apart at least, rather than just by car number. Now, just looking, the number 10 machine is under investigation for causing the red flag as part of an investigation on it and the number 888 car for unsafe behaviour. That's the wording that we've had from race control. So potentially down to not necessarily mucking about on the circuit, but you know what I mean, just maybe pushing the cars beyond their limits, maybe just not respecting the fact that the cars need to get up to temperature. And okay, so apologies. There's a correction now from race control, which is cars 888 and 18 who are under investigation for unsafe behaviour. So that is the driven Porsche of Tiago Monteiro, and I've only got the first initial of Harpal, and that will be joining them in the car. Just trying to see who it was. It wasn't even either of those drivers at the wheel at the time, by the look of it. It was Szymkowiak, Jules Szymkowiak, that was driving that car with, I imagine, Tiago this weekend. Let's see. We'll find out for you and then try and confirm where possible. But we've definitely got Jules Szymkowiak on the timing screen, so that name goes onto my list straight off the bat. But it's that car and the 888 of Stefan Perrin, which is also racing in the GT Sprint Cup as well, that are both under investigation for unsafe behaviour. A rather interesting one for the early stages of this session. But we wait now to see what the next course of action will be. It didn't look like it'd be long to get that car out of the gravel, so it should be back underway momentarily. But the red flags continue to wave around the circuit here at Mugello, and it's gone eerily quiet after 4 hours of racing. Delighted to say I'm joined by Claire in the commentary box.
I can make it loud. I'll bring the noise.
It's unfortunate the session stopped so quickly, though, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know. I quickly ran, because I had to come from the pit lane, obviously, up to here and stop to get some water, because it's very thirsty out there. Very, very thirsty work. And yeah, we're coming in at 3 minutes in? Who's off?
Such an innocent mistake from the number 10.
No.
Lionel Rigor. He's just turned in a little bit too aggressively into turn 4. Back end's gone around and it's just beached the rear wheels.
Oh, that's irritating. Yeah,
it's the gravel.
It's a funny. We've seen a lot of slipping and sliding. Now we're seeing the beautiful areas in surrounding areas of Tuscany. I mean, it is stunning here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine if you just live in there. We were talking about this last night, weren't we, when we were walking down, all the different shutters, the different buildings, everything looks so significantly different from the next thing. And it's just a really beautiful area. And even that, looking at the stormy clouds to the right and then the beautiful sunshine just peeking in between the
hills.
Cascading hills. I was trying to think of the right adjective, but
well,
yeah,
again, like we were saying, you know, about the architecture, it's strange how all the buildings here seem completely different, but they all still conform to the same architecture. You can tell it's the same idea. It's really cool. Yeah. Look at that there. That's down from, that's turn 12, looking back at turns 11 and 10, and the hills down to the south. And we get a wonderful view of that out of the commentary box window all day. But that is just remarkable. When it gets to later in the evening like this and the sun is setting, you know, you get fantastic shadows cast over those hills. We have the green flag back out now, so the cars can get onto the circuit once more. No major indicative laps set just yet. Some interesting names to go through as well on this list as well, Claire. Some that have really caught my eye.
Okay, hang on. Let me find my... Hold the line, please, everybody listening and watching.
There's too many. There's it's, yeah, an interesting list.
There's a lot of French names. Is this what you're trying to say to me?
Yes.
Well, we do have French colleagues, so let's see how you do with this one, and then we'll put a little asterisk of doom next to the ones you get wrong, and then
asterisks of doom.
We'll have a little conversation tonight over dinner about how to
commentate, because I need less.
I can't help you that far.
It's more the second name in the Renault RS1, which is the 37 car. Christophe, I think it's Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, we'll call him Jason Derulo for the rest of the weekend. Still, he is not out in the car at present, I don't think.
I've got no idea where you're looking. 1, 2, 3, did you say?
17.
17, no, nowhere that way.
Now, I'm getting on my screen that it's... Oh, sorry, not the 17.
Well, that's what
37. It's too many. It's Jimmy Luminier in the car at the moment, but Christophe Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Or it could be Dorino.
No, that doesn't sound very French. Hang on, bear with.
That sounds too Italian, doesn't it?
What's that?
Claire's going to go and find out from our French colleagues now. She's going to go and crash their broadcast and find out they're literally in the next room. So while the cars make their way around the circuit to do their new laps, obviously to get back up to temperature, we look at the Vortex here, the number 21. You can see just how hollow that car is from the sides to the rear arches. The Renault RS01 that we were talking about has just gone back out onto the circuit. You can see using all of the circuit there actually is car 21 being driven by Lionel Amrouche. At this present moment, Claire is back with reports.
I do. It is Dorhuino. Christophe Dorhuino.
Dorhuino.
Thank you to Stefan, cameraman Stefan, who very successfully told us that. Dorhuino. Yeah, okay. Go. Any more? I can run back out. Should have done them all at once, shouldn't I?
I think other than that, we might be all right. I think.
Okay.
We'll say that. I think we'll be okay. I like Lionel Amrouche, who we were looking at just a moment ago. There's one that we know, Stefan Perrin, car number 888 in the Porsche. We saw that out earlier today in the GT Sprint Cup. Had quite a good chase on with the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo Evo 2 that it was up against in that race. And, well, really pushing it hard now, actually, in this qualifying session. Just trying to use all of the circuit, kicking up a bit of gravel as a result through turns 4 and 5. The Porsche 911 Cup car, the 992, just looks so fast everywhere. Just such a purposeful looking race car in every single angle. A really top-notch looking bit of kit. Great soundtrack to go with it as well. I was just trying to explain to everybody how loud the Vortexes are. It's such a wonderful sound.
There's a bit of gravel there being pushed up by somebody. I can't see it wasn't the 888 of Stefan Perrin, but it looks like there might be someone that will have a little bit of a dusty tyre, and it could have been the Vortex of car number 20.
Potentially so.
Although they would have got round there quickly. So the Vortexes are they are plagued with a few gremlins. They're still finding their way as the 37. Twitches just slightly on the rear, and I would assume that it's getting a bit cooler out there. And where we talked about some of the other cars that don't struggle so much with their tyres, the Porsche category probably will have a bit more issues with temperatures and things like that. But yeah, the Vortexes last year were kind of having a foundation year, getting things up to scratch and trying to work out exactly how to run these cars. And then this year is kind of the next year on of trying to make more of a trying to think of the right wording.
Like a development season.
Yeah, a bit more, one step from the development. And I think already they've been plagued with a few issues. So they have taken steps forward already. Last year we had plenty of breakdowns. I think we even had a fire at one point. So it's good to see that the Vortex have really taken steps forward. But hopefully the 20, which is Vortex, it was last year. I'm pretty sure it is still this year.
Yes.
Yes, good. Enzo Richer was in that last year. I don't know if he's in it this year. Let me have a look. He is back in it this time. Not this year, last. Paul Ricard. But they had issues last year. Last month. Get my months and my years right, they all merge into one. With Enzo Richeau, bless him, behind, and he's just had to finish a race and then jump into this.
Yeah.
So he won't be out yet. I'm sure he'll probably be the last one out in the stint. But he's a busy old boy, is Enzo Richeau.
Absolutely. We have the number 1 car on track, Jean-Paul Pagny, behind the wheel of that machine at the moment. Car that was very hard to defeat in previous races, although wearing the number 1, I believe, not as the reigning champion of this.
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were the wearing that with honours because
It's not me double checking that now, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Ferrari number 1 with David Hallyday. David Hallyday, however, didn't win the championship because he didn't do all the rounds, but Jean-Paul Pagny and Jean-Bernard Bouvet did.
I see. It's a great mix of cars, though. I mean, one of them, like I mentioned before, the Renault RS01, very unique racing machine. Very, very seldom seen race car as... Oh, the number 20 there seems to be leaning on its left rear. Has that got a puncture?
Yeah, no, it's got something going on the left. The rear left, it looked like it was kind of dragging along the track, didn't it?
Looked puncturesque.
Yeah, see if we can get back to the 20 Vortex. I'm sure it will come into the pit lane. And it does.
Yes.
So
intriguing. In terms of lap times, it's Jimmy Luminier that is fastest at the moment in the Renault. We're ready for an interview, apparently.
Andre Herbert is down in the pit lane.
Bien, pour l'instant, nous sommes plutôt pas très bien placés au niveau des Alpines, puisque nous avons le 3e temps. On va essayer de s'améliorer sur les séances qui arrivent pour Julien et moi-même, en sachant que le classement sur la grille va dépendre de la moyenne de nos 3 meilleurs temps.
For the moment, they don't have a really good place on the standings, only 3 in Alpine Cup, but with Julien and Olivier, they want to improve their level and gain some places in the classement. Vous allez disputer la Q2, comment vous vous sentez? Est-ce que vous êtes prêt à affronter ce circuit du Mugello qui est assez particulier et assez difficile?
Je suis prêt. C'est vrai que ce circuit est un circuit très rapide puisque nous n'utilisons que la 3e, la 4e et la 5e vitesse. Nous ne descendons jamais ni en seconde ni en première. Circuit très rapide, assez technique. Et nous sommes prêts exactement à faire un super temps pour ces qualifications. Ouais.
And yeah, he's ready to do the Q2 on this really fastest track because he never used the first and the second gear. And yeah, they are ready to have a good time and have a good end of the session. Merci Olivier, on souhaite bon courage.
Merci beaucoup, à bientôt, au revoir.
Thank you very much. And I have to say, Alexandre making a really impressive performance there to speak not only French, but also to translate it for us idiots in the commentary box that unfortunately do not know the love language of French.
No.
And I wish I did. I wish I did, because I worked out, though, we were talking to the commentary team next door, Renault, who is...
fantastic.
Yes, I mean, full of character, absolutely full of ball of energy. But worked out, I know how to say window. And
wow.
I can say no thanks, no more for me. Ça suffit pour moi.
When you get a bit late into an endurance race.
No.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, ça suffit pour moi. No. No. Anyway, no one needs to know about my bad French. 2 minutes left of this first qualifying session. It's Jimmy Lumiere who is leading the way at the moment in car number 37 in the UCS1 in the Porsche. It is Jules. Oh, don't know that.
Szymkowiak.
I can't even read. Do you know what? I'm going to have to put my glasses on.
I can't
read the timing screen that's far away.
Full disclosure, everybody. We've got a wall with a huge TV on it with the feed, but one of the timing screens is really far up in the top corner.
Yeah.
I just can't quite focus my eyes on it.
And it's an absolutely brilliant name, but there is a Z and a K and an M and an MKO.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of letters that my little brain couldn't work out within that time. Arnaud Gomez actually is now second anyway, but in the Porsche...
You know better the name of the driver in the number 17 car. Wajcinski, is it?
Wajcinski, yeah.
Wajcinski, yeah.
Daniel Wyszynski.
It looks really scary because there's so many letters in it, but it turns into one syllable.
It's very similar to when you do Wimbledon, and there's a lot of Rinskis and Djokovic, and they're actually very simple. They're said exactly how they look.
Yeah.
Which for me,
it's just a lot of letters for one syllable.
Yeah, I love a phonetic spelling.
Mm.
It's the only way I really can say anything.
So it's Luminier fastest, Gomez in the Vortex in second place, Szymkowiak third in the number 18 driven Porsche, which is a car that's under investigation after the session. Stefan Perrin is also under investigation as well. Jean-Paul Pagny is sixth. Ulrich Amado in car 29, the Netcouve Racing Porsche, is currently in fifth place. Then we have Gabriel Pemion in car 98. I'm trying. Lionel Amrouche is in ninth, and then Daniel Wyszynski is completing the top 10 at present in car 17. The checkered flag comes out. Cars will now complete their final laps. Yeah, that's another one I've just stumbled across that I will be unsure of. The
Which
number
one?
98, Gabriel Pemion.
Hang on, 1 second.
Because Pemient doesn't look right.
Gabriel Permont.
Yeah. Now, I like the look of that. The 123 machine,
Alpine.
the Chazelle technology. I love the Alpine 110 Cup car. It's a fantastic little race car. They have their own series for it, the Alpine Cup, and it is just great fun to watch. I've been fortunate enough to be at a few race meetings where they've been on the bill, and the racing is so ridiculously close. Really wonderful production cars. They are so low to the ground. I really don't know how the tyres actually get absorbed by the arches that much, but fantastic racing cars. Great sound as well. And a very potent road car as well. I know a few people with them as road cars. One of my friends, Simon, is fortunate enough to have an A110S. I know you didn't ask, but it's pretty cool. So
Shout out to
really
Simon.
Cool. Yeah, our Simon. I hope he's not watching this. Because he knows that eventually I'm going to slate him for everyone. But they are fantastic cars. They really are. And that livery really shows it off as well. I love the branding on it. It's very similar to the F1 team's branding for the last few years.
Yeah, that's why I've really enjoyed it. Yeah. It's definitely, it's become their colours, that hot pink and blue.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the 37 then, the Renault RS1 that tops the time. So that makes me quite happy because I'm, in no biased way, obviously, as a professional commentator, a humongous fan of that. But we're going to go back down to an interview in the pit lane now.
We are with Jimmy Luminier, the poleman of the first part of qualifying. Jimmy, on est déjà très heureux de vous revoir ici. En plus, ça a l'air de plutôt bien marcher avec la pole en Q1. Comment allait cette voiture? Comment s'est passée cette qualif?
La voiture fonctionne très bien. L'équipe a super bien travaillé. On est là depuis 2 jours pour faire des essais. Et là, on a vraiment une voiture qui est saine, qui est rassurante à piloter et perfo en plus. Donc tout va bien pour nous.
Well, we are really happy to be here. The team did really great work, and we have a safe car, and it's a really good pleasure to drive it. And then we have performed, so it's good. Quel va être l'objectif demain? C'est votre premier week-end avec cette RS01, mais il y a quand même un petit challenge.
Alors c'est bien de le préciser, c'est vrai qu'on a découvert cette voiture ici il y a 2 jours. Forcément, le challenge, c'est de se rapprocher des plus hautes marches du podium pour cette catégorie phare. Donc voilà, on ne va pas non plus mettre la charrue avant les bœufs, c'est notre première course. Le but, c'est de développer la voiture, vraiment, et puis de se faire plaisir.
Yes, they discovered the car 2 days ago, only on Thursday during the test. And yeah, for first objective is to try to claim a podium, but it's not the most important objective. It's to develop it and to learn it. And then, merci Jimmy. We will see Axel. He doesn't know it, but we'll disturb it a little bit more. Axel, we have a surprise for you. We are really happy to see you again on Ultimate Cup European Series. Welcome again.
Hello guys, hello everyone. All good?
All good for us. You too. You are driving this RS01 this weekend. It was not expected.
No, I got the call yesterday morning. I flew this morning and I discovered the car for the first time now in the quali, so we'll see how it goes.
What will be the objective of this qualifying?
Just finish do a lap and make it quick and be in the front so we get a good start tomorrow.
Thanks Axel, and see you tomorrow for the race.
Thank you Alex. See you guys.
I saw Axel hanging about during the endurance race, and we had a lovely little joke throughout the whole of last year as the green flag has been shown for the second part of qualifying, because I always interviewed him every single race, Axel, and he always looked furious to speak to me, but actually wasn't. He was just a racing driver through and through. And I saw him earlier, and I locked eyes with him, and I was just like, I might have to get you. But he wasn't wearing his racing overalls then, so I just popped in, and he was down in Lamos Racing speaking to Enzo Riche. And I thought, that's Axel. And so, yeah, so we are pleased to say that Axel will be joining us in car number 37. So after all of that, we didn't need to know Christoph's surname.
No, I think he's still part of the team, I think.
Well, we'll find out, I'm sure. So Jimmy Lumiere joining Jimmy Lumiere. So, yeah, great to see Axel back. Team Virage last year. Team Virage, obviously the champions. So great to see Axel back in the Ultimate Cup fold.
It'll be a very popular addition to the grid. I'm sure he'll bring many a viewer with him. Likes to very publicly, obviously. What's the word for it?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
No, just he makes good publicity from his racing. You know, he shows off about it, doesn't he? And you know, drivers sometimes don't like to shout about how much they're racing, but Axel gives it good publicity, I'd say. He's a well-known driver.
Yes, he's very well-known. I don't know what you're saying, but
just that he'll bring a viewer or two with him.
Yes, he's a very successful driver in his own right, and it's been really wonderful to see him compete last year and see the passion that he brings to Ultimate Cup and to his racing as well. And he's a very fast driver, so it's going to be really exciting to see what they can do.
It's always interesting, isn't it, when you see drivers from other series and then you get them into a different championship and you see what sort of level they compare to with the other drivers in that class that they wouldn't normally go up against. So I think it's very, very intriguing when you have that sort of match-up. Yes, Christophe Duino is in the car at the moment. He's just come up on the timing screen. We've got Regis in the car. He is in the number 17 machine. Regis Reggio de Sebes. Reggio de Sebes? That sounds a bit too Spanish.
I'll have a look in a
minute. Like we've said, everyone, there's a fantastic eclectic mix of not just cars, but surnames in this championship as well. But these will be the endurance races, the GT Endurance, not the GT Sprints. So there'll be a lot more time to talk about the individual cars and drivers as this goes on. Here is the aforementioned Renault RS01. Almost looks like someone blended an Audi R8 with Renault branding and sort of looks. It's a very, very interesting car. I believe it's a turbocharged V6 in that machine. Makes a very unique note. It's not quite high-pitched. It's not quite low-pitched. It's right in the middle ground. It's not like the Porsche Cup car, which screams its bag off everywhere, or the Vortex, which breaks the concrete everywhere it goes. It's very much in the middle of the two, but very loud all the same. I'm not sure if this is a GT3 spec one or just the one make RS01, because they did a GT3 version with more power, but based on the times that it did in that first session, it's definitely got a lot of that. Is that the 10? Yes, it is. That's the car that went off earlier on. So back out on the circuit now, the Mirage Racing Porsche, to try and make the most of this session. It was under investigation for causing a red flag, and the 888 team manager is to report immediately to race director. That's never a good call.
Yeah, we get a lot of these throughout the Ultimate Cup weekend, and I think it's just part of the fact that we get that on the timing screen. But yeah, usually it means that the cars have done something wrong, or they want to talk to a driver about maybe not listening to what's being said in their ears, or flags and things. And sometimes it can be nothing. Sometimes we have absolutely nothing that comes out of it. So yeah. I've just been thinking from seeing Axel Noss on the grid this weekend, is that obviously we don't have Team Virage here in the Endurance prototype this time round. Obviously watching the Kennel GT Endurance this time round, which is a new championship really in its own right. But we, no longer have Team Virage, who obviously were the champions last year, and Axel alone, black and orange flag for no GPS is what 888 has been told. So that will be the team manager being brought in because the GPS is not working within the car. But not only that they were champions, but Axel Noss and Sasha Lehmann and Georgios Kovalovoulos. I always used to say that a little bit. I don't know why I can't say it properly. We're obviously the Ultimate Cup European LMP3 champions as well. So, but let's head back down to the pit lane because it sounds like Christophe.
Sébastien Lajoux. Sébastien, déjà, on est très heureux de vous retrouver ici au Mugello en Ultimate Cup. On sait que vous allez bien, que vous êtes sorti indemne de cet accident, que vous avez la voiture ici avec Stéphane et Enzo pour être prêts. Comment vous abordez ce week-end au Mugello?
On l'a abordé, doucement. On a roulé ici il y a un mois, donc on était confiants. J'ai repris confiance en la voiture, j'ai repris confiance en moi. Donc on va essayer de faire des bonnes qualifs. L'important c'est la course demain. Mais voilà, je suis bien dans ma tête, donc je suis content.
We started slowly. We were here 1 month ago and we drove well. So I'm fine. He's fine in his mental. He's fine in his driving. So he has a hope to do a good quali and then tomorrow a good race. Vous avez ce week-end Enzo Julier dans votre équipe. Comment se passe l'adaptation aussi avec ce nouveau pilote qui n'a jamais roulé chez le Seb Lajoux Racing?
Ça s'est très bien passé. Enzo est très gentil. Il fait la Carrera Cup France. Donc voilà, on voulait quelqu'un de confiance avec nous. Ça leur permet d'évoluer aussi et de voir autre chose. Et ça nous apporte un peu de coaching aussi s'il y a besoin. En l'occurrence là moi je suis pas loin de lui, donc ça me permet de voir que je suis toujours dans le coup par rapport à mon accident.
Enzo is a very kind guy. He drove in Porsche Carrera Cup France, so he helps us on coaching, and it's important for the team to have young drivers and to explain us the endurance world. And so Seb is close to Enzo, so he's happy to be back on track and with a good performance. Seb, merci beaucoup. On vous souhaite une bonne Q3 tout à l'heure.
Merci à vous. À bientôt.
Alexander Herben speaking to Seb Lajoux from the Triple Eight. For some reason called him Christophe. I think we just talked about so many Chris's over the last couple of days. I nearly introduced him as Christophe. Seb Lajoux driving a different car this weekend. The Triple Eight, it is obviously the same number, but it is a different car because in Paul Ricard there was the huge accident with Seb Lajoux driving, and he ended up in the medical centre, and I think he hurt his shoulder a bit. So it's great to see Seb Lajoux back at the track a month later and looking fighting fit.
Absolutely. It's always great to see a driver return, especially so soon after an incident, to the circuit. I don't know if anyone else can hear that through the broadcast, but the cameraman is doing an impression of the car similar to that went quite viral at the American Grand Prix.
Yeah, exactly. Someone is doing the impressions of a car out there. Wee, 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 wee. Thank you for that. I very much enjoyed it. We both looked at each other and Chaz were like, you hearing that too? Yeah. Who's doing it?
Well, at the moment, who's doing the job out on track is Olivier Gomez, fastest and at the very sharp end of the order. Oh, was it actually? That really confused me.
That was me.
1:49.2 is the time to beat. Just coming back out on circuit is the 22 Vortex. There's the 17 Porsche. Makes me hungry for some reason. Currently running in ninth place, as I go to say that. Michael Desmail just moving ahead, car 29. And Jean-Jacques Ardely is in 7th. And then Lorraine Gaudy, and now the times change a lot, as Hallyday goes second quickest in the Ferrari, just 63 thousandths of a second from the top spot. Car 21 having some times deleted as well, which will explain why they suddenly just dropped down. Quite a lot of movement here, considering the smaller field of cars. Still 15 cars out on circuit here, but not. It's definitely not a stable session. There's a lot going on in terms of the lap times, hopping back and forth. Got a few cars into the pits just to maybe get the car cooled back down again, get it in a better operating window, throw it back out on circuit once more.
Enzo Julie back in the Porsche in the Triple Eight was with us in Paul Ricard, so good to see consistency in that too. And the Porsche category in the Kennel GT Endurance Cup is really strong. I thought last time out we had a Sébastien Loeb joining us, and I don't think he's joining us this weekend, which I think was a late change, because I think maybe he was going to join us, but he's a busy man, is Sébastien Loeb, but he has been joining us, which just shows the calibre of this championship. So I caught my hair in myself, which if you get long hair and you get it, anyway. But Sébastien Loeb, obviously a very successful rally driver in his own right, was racing last time out in Paul Ricard with his partner, and who is a very incredible co-driver in her own right as well. and driver, but not joining us this weekend.
Yeah, it's a shame not to have them on the grid, but still, at the same time, you know, we've had the pleasure of having him in the paddock and on the grid.
Yeah, a couple of times. It's been, yeah, like I said, a real testament to how far this championship's come.
Definitely is. There's the number 89 car then, sat in the pit lane. GP Racing team, shared by Loic Thiers, Anthony Beltoise, and Cyril Salel.
Beltoise is a great name.
Beltoise is a fantastic
Very
name,
French,
isn't
isn't it?
Wonderful name.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying to say. Beltoise. Oh, I hit my microphone. It's been a long day.
It has, and we've got one more of these to come. And there is the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo. You have to mention that it's the Evo. There was a Ferrari, actually, when they brought this car out, in all of their announcements and social media and everything, they had to promise everybody that it was a different car, because visually it was no different. It was all work that was underneath to do with the engines. There was no different canards or changes to the wing on it or anything. It was all visually the same. From an aerodynamics perspective, the same car, just a lot more work underneath mechanically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they genuinely had to tell people, we promise, it's different.
Yeah.
And it looks great. I mean, as we said earlier on today, with a lot of the Ferraris in the GT Sprint, you have to have a Ferrari in red. I quite like the white highlights. Looks similar to the Kessel Racing Ferraris that we see all over the world racing in other series. And I mean, that's track limits.
David Hallyday is not the professional of the drivers, so to speak. He's a he's a singer. And he tours around, so that's why last year he didn't win the championship, because he had a tour, I believe, in Paris or somewhere in France for the finale in Paul Ricard. So he technically didn't become champion, but he definitely has been a big part of the team and helping them a lot to get to where they are. So even though not the quote-unquote professional, he's definitely puts his time in. Let's head back down to the pit lane. Alexander Herbin is there.
Vous allez maintenant pouvoir suivre la partie de vos coéquipiers Cyril puis Anthony. Comment elle s'est passée cette qualification?
Elle s'est plutôt pas mal passée. On sait qu'avec le pneu, on n'a pas 50 tours. Le premier tour était bien. C'est là où je fais mon temps. Deuxième tour, je suis un peu gêné dans le premier secteur. J'améliore le 2 et le 3. Mais au final, pour gagner pas grand-chose, refaire un tour, je préfère rentrer, préserver les pneus pour la course et laisser la voiture coéquipier en bon état.
Yeah, the qualification of Loic was pretty well, but they know that they can't do a lot of laps with one tire. So he did his first time on his first lap, and then he was pushing a little bit, and he decided to box to pressure his tire. Loic, pour demain, on vous a vu gagner au Paul Ricard. Forcément, vous êtes attendu. L'objectif, c'est d'aller faire le doublé.
On aimerait bien, on va tout faire pour.
And tomorrow they will try to do a second win after their win in Le Castellet. Bonne chance, bon courage pour la fin des qualifs et à demain.
Merci, à demain.
Bonne chance, that means good luck. Loic Thiers then speaking to Alexander Herbin in the pit lane for GP Racing, and in the Porsche Cup he's in a Porsche 911, not that second though, because he was in the pit lane, and it's car number 89, which is currently running down in...
Oh, it's just in the...
89 is 6th. It took me a while to find the number.
I hate to admit, and I'm sorry to the team, I was looking further down. Earlier on, it was in 9th place, though, I remember. So
very strong lineup they've got, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Loic Thiers has been racing in the Ultimate Cup for a while, and yeah, it'll be great to see. 1 minute left then on the clock, and it's David Hallyday in the number 1 car division, the UCS1 category, leading the way at the moment with a 148.9, and a 10th behind at the moment is Olivier Gomez in second, and car number 22 in the same class. And then in the Porsche it's Enzo Julie in the 888, who is leading the Porsche class, and they're about 2 seconds off the pace of the leading car at the moment. But you would expect that, because David Hallyday is currently pootling around in a Ferrari, so it's significantly faster than a Porsche, and the Porsche is in a different category for a reason. Completely different machinery.
Yeah, indeed. The Cup car's not quite built to GT3 specs. In some certain circumstances, these Porsches can be quicker than a GT3 car in the straight line, but it needs a hell of a long straight to outdo one.
He's also only done 2 laps, actually, Enzo Julie, and David Halliday's done 6. So despite getting a little bit of heat in those tyres, you will notice a difference between 6 and 2 tyres. 2 laps.
Checkered flag comes out, and right now the cars will finish the laps they're on. We see there the number 11 Racing Technology Porsche going for the line. Currently running down in 13th place, Gilles Blasco, fantastic name, hoping to improve. He actually came into the pit lane at the end of that one. There's the 37 Renault RS01, Christophe Duino, personal best on that previous lap, 151.033. Puts the car 4th. 4 different cars in the top 4, which is interesting to see. The Vortex is mixed amongst the Porsches, as Philippe Bonnel is in 8th place, Enzo Richer ends up in 5th position, and Olivier Gomez ends up in 2nd place in car 22. But David Halliday completing the 2nd session of the 3 with the fastest time there, 1:48.9, the only car to get into the 1:48s. And now the cars are guided back into the pit lane, the shorter route through turns 6 and 7. And we now prepare for the final 15-minute session of the day, Claire.
Yes, we do have some cars still on track after we are off air, and it will be the Hoosier Formula Cup qualifying, and that will get underway at 7 p.m. So if you want to stick around and watch some single-seaters qualifying, they are always very good to watch. And then tomorrow morning we'll be back on air for 9 o'clock local time here in Italy for the Ultimate GT Sprint Cup Race 3. 25 minutes of that. Hoosier Formula Cup Race 1 will get underway at 9:45, and then the Kennel GT Endurance Cup, which is what we're watching now, will get underway at just after 10:30, so 10:45, but we will be on air from about 10:10, so do make sure you set your alarms to come join the Kennel GT Endurance Cup. Hoosier Formula Cup second race will take place at 3 o'clock. And then the Ultimate GT Sprint final race of the weekend at 3:45. And then we will finish the meeting here in Mugello at 5:25 with the Hoosier Formula Cup final race. Race 3, 20 minutes of that one. So do make sure you join us in a month's time as well. We will be back in Portimao to bring us all of the action from Portugal. One of my favourite tracks, one of my favourite areas. Portimao was my first time there last year, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favourite tracks I think I've ever been to, which we get a lot of, actually. We get a lot of good tracks here. So we'll also be going to Aragon. We'll also be going to Magny-Cours. We'll also be going to Paul Ricard again as well. So overall classification then for the second part of qualifying.
Absolutely, and it's the number 1 Ferrari setting the fastest time. Like I said before, the only car to go into the 1:48s. Olivier Gomez in the Vortex, nearly forgot the name then, in 2nd place. Enzo Julie in the Porsche in 3rd. Making it the 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 was the Renault RS1 of Christophe Duino. And now the times reset, and the cars will get prepared for the final 15 minutes. We are told that Q3 will start on time at 18:40 local, so that is in 90 seconds time. So we may see some of the cars move towards the end of the pit lane, and then when the green flag comes out, they will rumble their way down to turn 1. But another wonderful day, almost complete here at Mugello. Fantastically scenic circuit. Not quite had the conditions we had yesterday, but to be honest, regardless of the conditions, so long as it isn't completely torrential, it's a treat to be here, isn't it?
Yeah, amount of drivers that were here last year and said to me, gosh, thank goodness we don't have the rain that we had last year, because we really did. Unfortunately, it bit into the endurance race especially, and we had so many red flags, and it was not ideal racing. I like a bit of rain, but I don't like it to be to the point where conditions are dangerous and too dangerous to drive, and it becomes hard as a whole race weekend. You bring everyone here, and then unfortunately gets rained off. So I'm very grateful to have seen the wonderful endurance race that we had earlier for Mugello. So if you missed that, you can catch it again on our YouTube channel. And you can see exactly what happened with the prototype endurance. These guys, obviously the kennel GT endurance, will be having 4 hours of racing tomorrow, which I'm very excited to see, especially the Porsche category that is really starting to heat up, and I can't wait to see exactly what happens in that one.
Yeah, the success of the Porsche Carrera Cup, the very many different formats it has all over the world in different countries, just shows how great a one-make series it is and what wonderful cars they are to work with as well. We have a good selection of them in this field here this weekend, and it's definitely going to be the main meat of the pack, let's say. Some interesting GT3 spec cars as well. Not too many of them, but it's great to see how they measure up to the likes of the Vortexes and the Alpine Cup cars as well. We've got a few of those in the field to keep an eye on. It should be good fun. Absolutely good fun. Certainly great to see, you know, a championship that accommodates so many different types of GT cars, because it's very easy to sort of push them all into a bit of a corner and just say, no, you're categorized like this, you can't race here. You know, it's great to give them that platform to race on. There is the Ferrari that topped the previous session. Wonderful looking Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo. And taking to the wheel now is Jean-Bernard Bouvet. We have Philippe Paulette in car number 11, the Racing Technology. Now they have got 4 drivers listed on the spotters guide we were given yesterday. We'll keep our eye out and see whether it's all 4 of them that will be using the car, because obviously they get just 3 qualifying sessions. So one of the drivers, if they have got the 4, will not be able to take part in this. We've got Arnaud Gomez back out on the circuit as he did the first session. Olivier did the second one. Arnaud does the third one now. And it's going to be the same for all the teams that have 2 drivers. Axel Noss is now out on the circuit. He's going to be in the Renault RS01, car number 37. Still a couple of cars left to take to the circuit, but they've all given it a moment here to try and find a little bit of real estate around Mugello. And as of the Ferrari crossing the line now to begin a fast lap, the session properly gets underway. Just under 13 minutes left on the clock. And there's still cars coming out of the pit lane, which is intriguing because these guys are going to come across them quite quickly into turn 1. A lot of closing speed there when a car is heading out of the pit lane. There's the 21 Vortex, driven in this session by Lionel Amrouche. It's a very different looking car to the Vortex 1 that they were racing a couple of years ago. I caught a glimpse of it at the likes of Valencia and Catalunya, and that car was very, very different. Still bright orange, but that was about the only similarity, and the fact that it makes one of the loudest noises we've ever heard a race car make. We've got a yellow flag in turn 5 already. Full course yellow now. Oh, dearie me. The red flag is out, and we just caught a glimpse of the car at the side of the road there. Something has gone in at turn 5 pretty severely, it seems. Hats off to the officials there for getting the red flag out so quickly.
Car 29 it could be, who seems to not have finished the first sector. Or they might be in the... No, I think they're not in the pit. And that would be the only suggestion I could think at this point.
Yeah. 29 machine being the Netcuve Racing Porsche of Michael Desmail and Ulrich Amado.
17 also could... no, that started moving again.
Yeah, we've got a map on our timing screen that only shows the dots of where the cars are based on when they've gone through the end of a sector. So we're waiting for them to cycle round.
So at the moment, 22.89 and 37 to 29 haven't come back to the pit lane as of yet.
But out of those, 29 is the only one that we haven't even seen complete a first sector, isn't it?
What sector's it in? It's the first sector, so yeah, it will be car number 29.
Yeah, it looks like the 17 got further around the lap, but is yet to make it round to the final corner, because it won't pick up that they've been through the final sector because they cut through at turn 7 when the red flag comes out. Unless they've already gone past that, of course. So, yeah, all clues at the moment point to it being the 29 car. Hopefully everything okay. But the red flag put out quickly there by the officials. Fair play, neutralising the session as quickly and as safely as possible. It was mere seconds from the yellow flag going out. I mean, the yellow flag went out at 6:42 and 50 seconds. 4 seconds later, we had full course yellow, and then 2 seconds later, it was a red flag. So, quick thinking by the officials. You can hear the wonderful noise, despite the silence, the wonderful noise of the Porsche 911 Cup car, 992, making its way down the pit lane. It's a very loud transmission whine. So we're just having a look there. We're obviously just staying quiet for a moment while we wait to see the next course of action here. But it looks like out of the cars that did come out of the end of the pit lane, it's actually the number 22 Vortex that hasn't made it back round. I don't actually think the 29 went back out. So, yeah, we are waiting for the 22 Vortex because actually this is just ticked in my head. It would have just about gone past the Sector 1 marker at that point of the lap, and then on our screen, the little dot, basically to show where it is, has gone all the way around to the end of the lap. And yeah, we haven't obviously seen it come back through. So hopefully everything okay. You can see the one of the recovery vehicles making its way around the track now, up to where that vehicle is. It just gone off on the outside, on the exit of the corner. And to be fair, Claire, I mean, it's a corner where it's easy to do. We've seen a lot of cars this weekend run wide on the exit of those curbs, and you know the car gets really unsettled as it straddles along it, doesn't it? It's very, very easily done.
Yeah, it's a track that can catch drivers out at a lot of different corners. It's a track that you wouldn't think does as much as it does, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's not speculate and talk about too much along that way just for now until we hear a little bit more about what's happening on track. And at the moment, as you can see, the recovery vehicles are tending to what we believe is one of the Vortexes, car number 22, who has had an off during the third part of this qualifying practice session. And we will hear more from race control when we've got the time in front of us. But obviously the safety and health of everyone at this track is the most important thing that the marshals do, and the most important thing that everyone does. So qualification 3 is cancelled. Steward decision has made that. So that could be a multitude of reasons. That could be light. That could be everything. So again, I will avoid speculation on why that is currently being suspended. But that will be it for our coverage here of the Kennel GT Endurance Cup with the third part of practice with what we believe is car number 22 of Arnaud Gomez at the moment, just being seen to by recovery vehicles. But like we said, please keep across any of our socials to get updates on such information. But we will probably end that session here with no further speculation on what we can bring you, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that will be the end of it here today from Claire and I. But thank you very much for listening. Thanks very much for watching. And we hope to see you again tomorrow for the final day of action here at the beautiful, as you can see there, Mugello in the Ultimate Cup European Series. We'll see you soon.